Growing up in the 2000s, I was a huge fan of skateboarding. It was a daily topic with friends at school, from buying Etnies sneakers and tech decks to going home and watching Viva La Bam and Jackass. Most of my friends during those years were skateboarders, and I even skated for a short amount of time. Where it all started was playing a demo of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. You skate as Chad Muska in the competition level. After playing the short demo, I was hooked and knew right away I had to get the full game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was released in 2000 for the PlayStation. The game also had ports on the Dreamcast, Game Boy Color, and PC, and would eventually move to the N64 the next year. The game is a huge upgrade from the first one, with better graphics, smooth gameplay, and now you're able to do a manual to rack up your score from one trick to the next. There are 5 different gameplay modes. Career mode, where you pick the skater you want and each level gets harder as you progress. Upon entering the level, you have 2 minutes to complete some or all of 10 objectives. You receive different amounts of cash based on what objectives are completed, and advancement to the next level. You can then buy different boards for your skater and stat points as well. My favorite mode is a single session. You skate for a 2-minute run and try to get as many points as you can by doing tricks. Free skate mode is cool to touch up on your moves and try new tricks with no time limit or goals in mind. In multiplayer mode, you can play 5 different games. Trick Attack, where you can skate and see who has the better score after 2 minutes. Tag, where it's basically a game of tag through tricks. Free Skate for 2 players. Horse, where you have to do a trick that's equivalent or better to the one your opponent did. And last but not least, Graffiti. In this game, one skater gets the color blue and the other gets red. Once you land a trick on an object, like a bench or a rail, it will then turn your color. However, the other player can do a better trick and that object will turn into their color. Whoever does the most graffiti wins. I really enjoy the level editor in the game. Creating your own theme park is really fun, and also you can make a spike pit. Those were always fun to include in the level designs. There are 16 characters to skate with in the game. You start with 13 and unlock the other 3. You can select Tony Hawk, Chad Muska, Rodney Mullen, Jamie Thomas, Bucky Lasik, Alyssa Steamer, Eric Costin, Jeff Rowley, Kareem Campbell, Rene Glifberg, Steve Caballero, Andrew Reynolds, and Bob Burnquist. The 3 unlockable characters are Spider-Man, Officer Dick, and Ollie, the magic bum that you skate over for competitions in the previous levels. Before going any further, I want to do a quick dive into the development of the game, as it's quite interesting. In September of 1999, Neversoft put out a notice to hire new programmers to work on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Shortly after, the company Activision acquired Neversoft. The game was first shown at E3 in 2000. A playable demo was made shortly after for PlayStation Underground's Genpack Summer 2K CD. When the game was first released, fans and critics loved it so much that it became an instant classic. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is often found on Best Video Game of All Time lists, and it deserves that spot. The level designs in the game are second to none, especially the warehouse level that you start off in. I always liked how you could jump on the helicopter and make it fly away, and it opened the secret room with snow in it. There are 8 levels in the PlayStation version of the game. We've now went over most of the main components in the game, except for one that is most important for replayability, and that is the soundtrack. It's the perfect combination of rock and rap to keep you pushing your board for hours at a time. tracks like You by Bad Religion, Guerrilla Radio by Rage Against the Machine, and most memorable for me, No Cigar by Melancholy. If you've ever played Pro Skater 2, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. When you're trying to get your best run with your favorite skater, and the right song comes on, you just get lost into this world of doing tricks, manuals, adding on to the next grind, and by the end, you have a crazy score like 500,000. And one thing about the game, it has an extensive cheat code list, and it's really fun to mess with. But just based off the gameplay, the soundtrack, everything about the game is great. There's not many flaws in it, and I can play it for hours and really enjoyed the game growing up. When it comes to skateboarding games, it doesn't get better than Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I had a really fun time going over this one. And in the past, we've reviewed other PlayStation games. I'll leave a link below in the description, so be sure to check those out. And until next time, stay up late productions.